Welcome to the Everyday Why channel, where we ask the questions you forgot to ask about the world around you. Picture this. It's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. The room is quiet. You haven't listened to music all day.
Right, completely silent.
Yeah, but then, completely uninvited, like an 8-second fragment of a pop chorus just starts looping in your head. And trying to ignore it basically acts like a volume dial turning it up. Or, trying to replace it just leaves you with this chaotic mashup of two different songs competing for
Oh,
dominance.
absolutely. I mean, over 98% of us experience this mental trap. So the goal today is to break down the cognitive mechanics of an earworm. We want to understand how a Soviet psychologist from the 1920s, a frustrated waiter, and a stick of peppermint gum actually hold the key to turning off that internal radio.
Wait, hold on. I'm stuck on the waiter part. Are you saying my brain treats a looping pop melody the same way a waiter handles a restaurant tab?
Functionally, yeah. Yes, it does. Back in the 1920s, there was this psychologist, Bluma Zeigarnik, who was observing waiters in a really busy Vienna cafe.
Okay.
And these waiters, they could juggle incredibly complex, unpaid orders entirely in their heads, like without writing anything down.
That's pretty impressive.
It is. But the second the customer paid the bill, the waiters couldn't recall a single item they had just served. I mean, the memory was instantly purged.
Oh, wow. So because the task was completed, the mental file was just deleted.
Exactly. Zeigarnik actually took this observation into the lab, and she found that human brains remember interrupted or incomplete tasks twice as well as completed ones.
Twice as well.
Yeah, the brain keeps unfinished business active in working memory. It's essentially looping the data until it finds a resolution.
So an earworm is basically a mental browser tab that the brain refuses to close. Like, because we usually only catch a fragment of a song, maybe you're walking past a coffee shop or scrolling through a feed, there's no satisfying musical resolution.
Right, you never hear the ending.
Exactly. So your brain registers it as an open task and just keeps hitting refresh, desperately searching for the end of the phrase.
That's spot on. That structural cliffhanger is the foundation. But researchers at Durham University wanted to know why specific songs trigger this effect while others just don't.
Right, because not everything gets stuck.
Exactly. And they discovered earworms typically share three engineered traits. First, a fast tempo. This usually matches human walking or resting heart rates, which makes it physically easy for the brain to adopt.
Makes sense.
Second is a highly predictable melodic shape. Think of notes rising and falling in a basic nursery rhyme pattern.
Well, fast and simple definitely makes sense for working memory, but what's the third trait?
A melodic surprise. There has to be one unexpected interval or rhythmic leap that breaks the predictable pattern just enough to catch the auditory cortex off guard.
Wait, let me challenge that premise for a second. If an unexpected musical leap is the trigger, wouldn't jazz or, I don't know, progressive rock get stuck in our heads constantly? I mean, those genres are entirely built on unpredictable, complex surprises.
That is a fair point, but it's the contrast that matters here. See, jazz is too complex for working memory to easily hold on to in the background.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the earworm formula requires the melody to be so simple that the brain goes on autopilot. So when it suddenly hits that one unexpected note, the brain trips.
It stumbles over it.
Right. It fails to resolve the anomaly cleanly. So to fix the processing error, it loops back to the start of the phrase to try and make sense of it again. Pop songwriters often engineer this exact tension deliberately.
Wow, so we're dealing with a cognitive puzzle that the brain is obsessively trying to solve. How do you escape that? Because I know actively trying to suppress the song only makes it louder.
Yeah, psychologists call that the rebound effects. Forcing the thought away signals to your brain that the thought is important, which makes it return even more aggressively.
That sounds exhausting.
It is. But the clinically backed cure is to actually lean into the Zeigarnik effect. You have to give the song an ending. Play the full track all the way through, from start to finish. That way, the brain finally gets its resolution and closes the loop.
Which satisfies the open task. That's brilliant. But what if you're in a meeting and you can't exactly blast the song? You mentioned gum earlier.
Yes, chewing gum is a mechanical override. The physical act of chewing occupies the exact same motor and auditory pathways your brain uses to internally vocalize or, sing that melody.
You're kidding. So you're physically jamming the internal radio dial.
Literally.
Yeah.
You cannot chew gum and host an earworm at the exact same time.
That is wild. It really makes you wonder if a simple physical action like chewing gum can disrupt complex musical memory. Could we use similar repetitive motor tasks to break other intrusive mental loops like sudden anxiety spirals? Now I have to ask. Pause. What song gets stuck in your head most often? the one that lives there rent-free, uninvited, on permanent rotation. Drop the song title in the comments. Fair warning, reading other people's answers will absolutely give you their earworm. That's just the deal. Pause. And if you've ever wondered why your brain does something it was never asked to do, why it loops, fixates, or gets stuck on things you didn't choose, that's exactly what this channel is about. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you there.